Maruis Aldridge. I'm the author from Broken to Brilliant.
And I'm just going to start quoting your book. You're going to be like, which philosopher said that? Maruis Aldridge?
I like a bit of family drama.
But they did this study where they had a bunch of people meditate all in one town. And then they studied like the amount of crime that happened while the meditation was occurring. And it was so low compared to what it usually was.
Where I have to tell myself, no, this is not the same situation as it was before.
That I definitely have an anger in me. I'm talking about starting jujitsu classes, and that maybe that could be a healing practice for us.
I could feel the warmth coming from her heart space, which is love.
Welcome back to Traumatic Comedy, the podcast where we unpack trauma, laugh a little too hard about it, and then realize halfway through with the joke that, oh wow, that was actually a core memory. Today we are talking to Maruis, who writes about trauma who doesn't just live in your thoughts, but in your body. We're getting into questions like why the body holds on to experiences long after the brain thinks it's moved on, why traumatized people are sometimes the funniest in the room, and how to tell if you're laughing because you're healed or because your nervous system is doing parkour. If you've ever had a mysterious knot in your shoulder, laughed during a crisis, or realized halfway through therapy that your personality might just be a coping mechanism, this episode is for you.
Maruis Aldridge. I'm the author from Broken to Brilliant, unscripted journey to finding wholeness. I'm also a spiritual response practitioner and spiritual restructuring. I'm claircognizant, so I have this clear knowing. So when I do my spiritual work, I get information from spirit, and then I just interpret it and I say it while I do my energy healing. I love my life. I love what I do. This is me. It's available on all the Amazon countries. So whether it's India, Australia, Canada, America, yes, you can buy it. Just switch your country and you can find it. Alternatively, it's on Audible and it's also on Kindle.
I will start with the first question. I want to ask, you write about trauma being stored in your body. What is the most common place that you see it show up today in like today's society and people?
It's usually you see it first where safety and expression lives. There's often your jaw, and then also on your throat, your chest. For me, it's always on my chest. It feels heavy on my chest. It's like it almost feels like I can't breathe. It's almost like someone is pressing against my chest, and even if I breathe in, it also feels like there's not enough air coming into my lungs. And then the other thing is as you know, with my book, it's always the gut as well, because I've shut myself a couple of times. And it's just the body keeps the score. And although trauma happens in your mind, your body just holds onto it so tightly, and you have to, because remember, energy is created, but it can't be destroyed. So it just moves forms from the one place to the next. So that is stuck in your body on a cellular level, and you have to move it. And this is where somatic movements come in so brilliant. For me, it was dance, by moving my body. I did some dancing yesterday. Actually, I was very vulnerable in posting that on social media.
I saw that.
Completely out of my comfort zone, but I did it. But it's so healing, and you can literally feel the shift going through your body as you move your body. But you have to do something about it, otherwise it just causes dis-ease in your body, and that's where disease comes from.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
That's wonderful. I follow you on Instagram, and I just want you to know I loved that video of you dancing. It made me want to dance.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I was doubting, should I post it, should I not post it? And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I love that you did. It's great.
So I will say that I hold my trauma, stress, and tension in my neck and shoulders. I feel that a lot. So when I start to get overly stressed, overly with my work and what we do for a living, I start to notice my neck and shoulders. I start to get to the point where I'm like this, and I have to tell myself to breathe and let loose. And yeah, that's definitely my body's way of telling me that I'm stress and I've got things going on is definitely in my neck and shoulders.
But does it become headaches as well then?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay.
I have awful headaches when I start getting too overstrung, for sure. Yeah. Usually we'll do stretching and mental yoga exercises and everything, and then that tends to release it. And then I can stretch myself out. I can get everything back in line. But that's definitely my body's way of telling me you're holding way too much right now.
Yeah, I do yoga a lot because I have it where like my tongue will like almost get stuck to one side of my mouth, and I feel it in like my tongue and my neck. And then I have problems with my gut as well, kind of the opposite of what happens to you in your book. It's more like constipation, but I've had problems with that ever since I was a kid, and that's how I can really tell, like, okay, I've got to do yoga, I've got to calm down. And a lot of the yogas that are based around like your gut health are also based around trauma, I've noticed, and so it kind of just goes hand in hand.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I really love what you said about the energy can't be created or destroyed. It's just always ever changing, because I always talk about that with people. Amazing. And I feel like for me, I also resonate with the feeling it in your chest. I feel a lot of things in my chest and my stomach. And with how you said that energy staying in your body, I have recognized in myself over the last few months that I definitely have an anger in me. And we've actually all been discussing going to jujitsu, how you were talking about dancing to let it out. Yeah. We've been talking about starting jujitsu classes, and that maybe that could be a healing practice for us. So
it's amazing because during my I speak about Stuart in my book very candidly, and he I went through a period where I was really angry as I was healing. I was angry about the abusers. I was angry about the people. I was just fucking mad. Yeah. And then he suggested boxing. And I mean, I'm a gay man. I've never put boxing gloves on. I never boxed anything. But he was so good. And he made me punch his back. And he said, well, just imagine the person's face.
Yeah. Yep.
And it is so healing. And it is so good because it gets your heart rate up. You're moving your body. You're going for it. I would highly recommend it. Go for it.
Whether it's dancing or boxing or anything physical to get your
release
body doing something else.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I love your book. We're obviously called Traumatic Comedy because we've found that sometimes you just kind of have to laugh your way through the things that you've been through. And your book is such a prime example of that. So one of our questions for you is, why do you think that traumatized people are oftentimes the funniest people in the room?
Okay, this one, I thought about this question early on. It's because, okay, I'm just going to say it. Because happy people don't kill people.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great response.
Yes.
Because if you make someone laugh, obviously you're releasing endorphins in your body, and that people, I mean, it's funny. People, if you're going to make someone laugh, they're not going to be angry at you because they're full of endorphins. You make them smile, and just remember that the energy of being happy is tenfold stronger than those of anger and resentment. So it comes more natural, and people remember you. I mean, I had to be funny, otherwise I was a target, and so I had to be the funny one in the classroom growing up and even into adulthood. But there's a very thin line to becoming so funny, but also becoming a people pleaser in the same instance. And you need to be, but that comes with awareness. But yeah, I mean, to be funny is better to be angry and more the negative energies.
Absolutely. How do you handle, like, we've all done the same thing, as where, we've had these really traumatic things that have happened to us, and we are the type of people to, laugh about it now, make comments or jokes or whatever, kind of lightheartedly. Do you ever have people who respond to you in a way where they feel offended?
If I have to think of that off the top of my head, I would say that there's ego involved there. So people might, feel offended because you might make a joke, and that joke will fall on a personal level for them. So that's their ego that has been bruised in that instance. And then they turn it around because it is too honest and too open to look inward and actually question, but why am I feeling offended? I'm now at this stage of my life where I go, if you feel offended, it's your choice to feel offended. Because it's not my intention. I'm a kind, generous person. I know where I'm coming from. But it's hard work. People are hard work.
They are. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. It's very hard to try to figure out exactly, like, and as us, I feel like all of us are very good at people reading. And we try so hard, each person we meet, to match their energy or how they feel, and sometimes it's hard to please everybody.
For me, it came to a point where I had to start pleasing myself, because when you're so busy with people pleasing and so far from who you are as a person and masking who you are, it just causes sickness and illness inside you. And then you're already dealing with trauma, and now you're adding another layer of complexities on top of that. And sometimes you have to start saying no and return your energy back to yourself and say, actually, I'm going to start pleasing myself a bit. And since I've been doing that, it's been magic.
Yes.
Why do you think the body holds on to traumatic experiences long after the mind understands what happened?
Oh my God.
I made notes on this one.
Sorry.
I'm going to apologize. I'm going to reset this. My silly little daughter here.
That's amazing. No, it's lovely. Hello, daughter.
Nyla, he's saying hi to you.
It looks like you're hiding her.
So, Marius, Brandy is usually here with us. Her kiddos are sick. So that's why she's on the computer as well.
Oh, I like it. No, it's perfectly fine. Don't apologize.
So she might have to pause a couple times.
I like a bit of family drama.
She's a diva.
So to answer your question is because understanding isn't the same as integration. So the mind can say it's over, but your nervous system is asking, is it safe? Can I come out? Because remember, your mind, and this is why meditation is so important, because, you have thousands and thousands of thoughts per minute, per hour going through your head. So your mind can change quickly. But trauma is always stuck on a cellular level inside your body. And that takes time. And it takes healing, because it's an instrument and you have to do stuff to heal it. But what I want to say to people is it's easy to say, let's do healing, but you have to choose healing. It's the conscious choice, and you're going to have to put the work in for that to shift. And that's where the integration comes in, because now mentally you understand your trauma, but it's still stuck all over your body. But that's when the work comes in, and that is mindfulness, sound healing, forest bathing, you name it. There's so many stuff to do.
I feel like when I was going through things, I was so mindful of a lot of things, and I thought, just because I'm intellectual enough to understand it, it won't be so traumatic, but then afterwards there's even things I talk about on the podcast now that I think I'm totally healed from, and I will start feeling my body start shaking, and it just I'm still traumatized. It's still held in my body, and I have to it's just a cue that I need to work through it.
I was gonna say, I absolutely love the way that you said that, because even as hard as you want to fix it in your mind, and in your mind it is fixed, and you have ran through every scenario and everything in your mind, your body is still always holding on to something. I find myself in multiple situations almost having flashbacks, as in my body, my mind I'll be totally fine, and then something, a building or a street, triggers that body response. So your mind has accepted it to a point, but then your body will still, and your cells and your nervous system still responds to that. And I still struggle with some certain scenarios where I have to tell myself, no, this is not the same situation as it was before, and that experience. It's a different experience. So I have to try to tell myself not to respond the way that I initially want to respond.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I totally relate to that, because my car went in for a service a couple of weeks back, and this is how I know I've healed from this specific trauma. It's like I'm frightened of straight men, and because all my abuses have been heterosexual men.
Yes.
So one thing that really triggers my body was going to a garage to walk into that male dominant butch environment.
Oh
I would
yeah.
start sweating, shaking, my stomach will make knots, and literally 2-3 weeks ago I went to the garage to book my car in, and I just walked in, I said my piece, and I walked out, and my body didn't respond, and this is how I knew, okay, some healing has taken effect.
Oh,
and it was
that's
such
beautiful.
a
I
nice
love
feeling.
that.
But I know exactly what you mean by the body reacts to certain situations, and yeah, it takes time.
100%. And then you're still, I feel like it doesn't ever totally go away.
No.
I feel like it's something that you still have to continuously work on your response to certain situations
Yes.
because of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of my biggest ones that I've had recently happen, I would say like in the last year, and I noticed it once it happened, is loud banging sounds. Like I've been at work and something really heavy gets dropped and my body jumps. And the first time it happened, it like startled me even more, because I was like, why did I do that? I didn't even realize that it was a problem. And it is just, I'm not in control when it happens. And then another funny thing that people close to me know about me is, and this one's just interesting because I physically feel it. And I'm not irrationally paranoid, but I'm like slightly paranoid. Like I won't go outside. I won't take the trash out at nighttime. I won't go out to my car at nighttime, because I start thinking about if certain things could happen, certain scenarios.
Yeah.
But I physically feel that my heart rate will increase. I will start sweating. Like if I'm at my car and I'm trying to not look behind me because there's nobody there, just don't look. The more I don't look, the more like I get a physical reaction as if what I'm imagining is happening. But I know it's not, right?
Right.
But I physically feel that to the point that I like won't even go outside at night.
Almost like a child feels about, let's say, example, the darkness, right? Like a child knows for like their parents tell them there's nothing in the dark, there's nothing in your closet, there's nothing out there that you need to be scared of. But yet that child response is still like, yeah, but what if there is something under my bed? Or what if there is something that I can't see, you know?
Yeah.
So it's almost like that bringing back that child response almost, I feel.
Yeah.
But I can relate to the loud noise, because I still jump. I mean, I've been at this healing journey for over 12, 13 years, and I also, with loud noises, I'd literally jump. I mean, I would do like with my husband. I know he's at home and I'm in the kitchen, and I would turn around and he would be standing there. I heard him walk down through the lounge. I turn around and then it would make me jump. I'm afraid it will never go away. So you need to make peace with that.
Yeah. Almost like it becomes an ingrained survival instinct or something to make your body aware of danger.
Yeah.
You just have a hard time shutting it off. It's just overactive now, I guess.
Mindfulness helps for that if you do a little meditation, because obviously, I don't know about you guys, but I'm an overthinker, and if I speak, I would have conversations in my head before, like evaluating all different scenarios of how I would talk and stuff. But yes,
my next question for you is how do we know when our physical symptoms are telling us we need to make a change? So how is our physical body telling our mind that it's time to do something?
I'm going to give you an informed answer, and then I'm going to give you an answer of how it affected me, because for me, I was just sick all the time. Bloody hell. It was the one thing after the next. I think during the worst part of my mental health crisis, it was a period of 18 months. I think I had tonsillitis 8 times.
Oh, no.
Just constantly sick. And if it wasn't the cold, it was the flu. And not just that, your body is aching. So the informed answer is the body whispers first, Like, take note of the aches and the pains, the fatigue, the tightness, the restlessness, repeated illness, a quiet sense of, something is off. And if it's ignored, it starts to speak louder. And trust me, it does start speaking louder. And that's mentally and physically. And then a good question to ask is, what am I tolerating that my body is no longer willing to carry? And you have to ask yourself that question. I can almost tell you, before you ask that question, you will already know the answer.
Yeah, I worked at a job that I was like miserable at for like 3 years. I stayed there, and what happened to me is I started getting vertigo really, really bad. And I went to the ER like multiple times for it because I'm like, I'm dizzy. I feel drunk. I feel like I'm dying. I'm panicking.
Yeah.
Why am I dizzy? And they're like, oh, you probably just have vertigo. Like there's a case of it going around, which I didn't know it was like an illness.
Yeah.
But now I can recognize when I start getting really, really stressed out, I will start feeling dizzy. And I will like literally feel like the room is spinning. But now that I know that it's from anxiety, I can calm it down and it goes away. But at the time I was so panicked. I was like, oh my gosh. But one thing you said about it'll bring it up again, like your body will bring it up again and again. My therapist, when I was going to therapy, she would always say, when things like that show up, it's like having a child who's saying mom, 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 mom over and over again.
Yes.
It's never going to go away. They're never going to stop saying mom because they still want something. And so until you address it, the mom, mom, mom doesn't go away. And so you have to really, you have to really just address it and heal it. Yeah.
Remember that all these symptoms that you're feeling in your body is communication. It's telling you something. And it's obviously going to depend on your tolerance level. I mean, I managed 18 months and I thought, okay, no, and that's because I was so depressed and so anxious. My doctor kept saying, your anxiety is depression. I said, no, I'm the happy one. And kept saying no to medication, saying no to medication. And it's only when she sat me down and she explained, okay, there's something wrong. You've got anxiety and depression. Let's try medication. But yes, it takes time to get there. Listen to your body. Because sometimes you don't always know. And because the world tells you to toughen up and yes, be like this, be like that. But yeah, you need to go inward and just trust your own intuition.
Yeah.
So I can actually say there's been a couple times my husband has planned a trip, and for some reason my body, my gut, my body, my mind, but more so my body is telling my mind like something about this isn't right. Something is wrong. So there has actually been a time where my husband had planned on going on this trip, and it was a trip I was 100% like on board for. And then it was the day before he was supposed to go, and I woke up that morning and I was just, my body, everything, my gut, I felt sick, I felt wrong, and everything about the way my body was feeling, my mind kept going to the trip, to what he was doing. So he ended up not going, thankfully, because he knows how I am and my gut feelings and everything. And I do remember actually reading up and looking into that, and there was a huge accident that had happened on the exact same trip. And I know this is slightly different, but it's just the same sense of it, like your body will tell you sometimes, even when you don't know, and you have to be able to listen to it and listen to your body, and your mind has to accept what your body is telling you. And so he did not end up going on that trip, and there was a huge accident pile up on his route that he would have been going on, and who knows if he would have been in that pile up or what. Like, it's hard telling. But it's definitely, I understand that 100%. Like, you really, really have to listen to your body.
You're the only one that knows your body, so you know yourself the best. So listen to that, and then and trust it.
I wanted to bring up, there's something in your book, and it's early on. You talk about when you're going through SRT at the beginning, and one of the things in your book that stood out to me was your body's response to the hug you received.
Oh my God, yes.
I absolutely loved that part. I'm just curious if you could go a little bit more detail about that.
by the time when I met Maria and I went for this SRT, but remember, by this time I have followed all the spiritual breadcrumbs. I had
Yes.
the reel that I saw in South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to hot yoga, looked down, and I saw the vibrational healing, and the goose bumps erupted.
Wow.
Made the call, and then 9 days later went to see Maria, and remember I already went in there because now I thought, okay, it's another healing modality. I don't know what to expect, nothing. But when she hugged me, I was nervous as well. And then I walked in, and then when she hugged me, and then the big smile, and it was more of a hug. It was like an embrace. I could feel. I'm going to get emotional now. I could feel the warmth coming from her heart space, which is love.
Yeah.
And I could instantly feel that. And when she hugged me, it was just so warm and so comforting, knowing that the trauma and all the shit I went through, and then to have that moment, it was so special. I will never forget it. And then obviously the clearing itself was very profound.
Yes. I have to say, I am first of all very grateful that you have an audiobook. That's how I listened to your book, and the narrator is phenomenal. But
amazing.
Listening to that part, I felt like I had a physical reaction, and I teared up listening to that. Because I've had a couple of moments. I'm adopted, and my mother, my adopted mom, she hugs me like that, and I have found myself like tearing up. So I really related to that, and that's why that part stood out to me so much, is your body's response. Because there's positive responses too. It's not always negative, but when you, especially absolutely. I think when people go through such heavy traumas, it's things like that I don't know,
help heal.
Yeah, it is so healing. My adopted mom, she is more religious, but I think what it comes down to is a genuine love. When you feel that from somebody who is so genuine and they practice that in their everyday life, it just it goes beyond words.
I always feel safe at her house when I would go there.
Yes, it's safe.
So just remember that love always wins.
Absolutely.
Okay, and this is something I learned in spirituality. Just remember, when the universe made us in the image of it, you were made with love, light, and joy. So that is your original essence of you, the energy ball that you are.
Yeah.
So and then obviously we have to go through the ups and downs of life, all the tribulations, the trauma, and then you experience all these anger, resentment, ego, all these lower vibrational energies. So you have to, it's your job to alchemize those negative energies back to where your original state is, which is love. So you meeting your adopted mum, and then you hug her, and the love that you feel is what they call soul recognition. That's why you just feel it. That energy is comfortable, it's loving, it's warm. I don't know what other words I can use to describe it, but you just know that it feels right, and that's because that's your original essence, and that's why it feels so familiar.
How can someone tell the difference between laughing because they're healed versus laughing because their nervous system is panicking?
Okay, so I thought about this one, because healed laughter feels grounded, and you can feel it. It makes you feel nice. So there's breath, there's presence, and you can stop laughing and you still feel okay. But when it's nervous laughter, it feels compulsive. And then it's fast, it's so often breathless, and often followed by exhaustion or emotional drop-off. And the simple check-in here is can I feel my body while I'm still laughing? And if the answer is no, the laughter pulls you away from the sensation, and that's how you know when it's nervous and when it's Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
because
Like
we're taking a question that
love
we
that.
have in our brain and you're relating it back to the body to make it make sense again. And
Yeah.
it makes so much sense when you
Yeah.
do it that way.
Yeah.
No, I love that so much because I know that there's times where somebody will say something and I get uncomfortable because of the situation, and it's
Yeah.
almost like it's almost like kind of like in my personal, it's a loud kind of like, you know, more of a ha ha, and then afterwards in my brain I'm like, oh, that was too forced, that was too scripted.
Yeah.
Rather than when it's comfortable, it's a laughter, but it's not, you don't have that immediate thought of, oh, that wasn't that, I feel weird now, I feel off now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another way to recognize healed laughter versus like more forced laughter is like if you have healed laughter and you had a nice belly laugh and you laugh, you would often smile afterwards without thinking.
Yes.
It's something that naturally happens with the body. Where when it's nervous laughter, I can tell you now, your mind will go into overthinking.
What do you hope people feel in their body after they read your book?
My book is what I call it's a love letter to light. And I always say, where there is light, there can't be darkness. I mean, it's pure physics. We can't deny that.
Mhm.
But I hope they feel permission to soften, permission to exhale, drop their shoulders a bit, and permission to stop performing healing and actually experience it. I want people to feel less alone in their body. And if they recognize themselves in my story, that's great. And to realize that nothing about them was broken and that they're actually brilliant, and whatever their body was doing during trauma or still dealing with, your body is doing its job, is doing what it's designed for. And if they close the book and they feel even a little bit more at home in themselves, then the book and my job as an author is done.
I love that.
Yeah.
I just want to say I think my favorite part of your book that I really appreciated was with the lightning bugs.
Because yes.
It shows like that glimmer of hope, and that was just a catalyst of you like just holding on to that hope moving forward. And I think there's so many times when everyone is going through a hard time where they see the lightning bugs, they have that little glimmer of hope, and it just makes them hold on. And that was just, oh my gosh, that was so moving for me. I love that part.
Thank you for saying that, because that was my favorite chapter to write.
Really?
Obviously, chapter 9 was the heaviest chapter for me to write.
I could see that.
I cried through the whole chapter, but chapter 4. And the other thing that is amazing for me in the book, because I feel that the whole book was channeled through spirit, because I went on this psychedelic retreat, and then 4 days later I started writing my book, and I couldn't stop writing, and my whole book was written on my phone.
Oh my God.
That is crazy.
Yeah, on my phone. I was sitting next to Grant every evening. Bless him, he was so patient. Got so annoyed because I was always distracted. I'm like this, and he goes, "You really need to do that?" And I said, "I need to write this."
Yes.
So I wrote my book, and it's only after I've done that I realize in each chapter there is light.
Oh,
and that's
yes.
how I realized. Where there's light, there can't be darkness, because it doesn't matter my whole story, all the trauma, all the shit I went through, it's fine. But through my whole life, there was always some person, some place, or some glimmer of light or hope in the background. And that's what I saw, and that's what I focused in. And I think that's what carried me through all the trauma and all the healing, and still does to today. But now stepping into alignment and purpose, it's just magic. It's like the universe is just blessing me with all this abundance,
Absolutely,
prosperity, and people in my life. So, yeah, I can't complain.
And what an incredible perspective to have, though. I love reading, and your book is one of my favorite that I've read, because you have such a great sense of humor, and the way that you word things is the way that you word things and you describe them is truly so beautiful. And one of my favorite things about your book is that whether people can relate to the entire book or certain parts of your journey, I really do believe that everyone can find something in your book that they can personally relate to and heal from in that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I received that. Thank you so much.
Your firefly story reminds me of, so as a young girl, I was in Kansas and grew up in Wyoming. And so I grew up in areas where you could look up at the sky and you could see the stars. And especially now in my life now, where I live in Craig, Colorado, this tiny little town in the northwest corner of Colorado, there are times, especially during my busy season, when we are having clients and we're having people coming through constantly, and I'm having a hard time managing my own personal self, trying to deal with these people that are coming through. There are times that I find myself going outside and sitting on the ground so that I can ground myself and looking up at the sky. And that is something I can almost always count on where I live, is the stars. And the stars are a huge symbol for me. I can look up and I can see, and it just makes me, it almost brings me back to earth, essentially. It back to that. I am small. I am doing good. I am doing what I'm supposed to. I am where I'm supposed to be. I can remember so many nights going out and riding my horses through the fireflies and seeing the fireflies and catching the fireflies. And that was one of my favorite things as a very young child and one of my childhood memories.
I've actually never seen a firefly.
Really?
I've never seen one.
Magic.
Abigail, they're magical.
But I read that part and it was like, it was great. I've never seen one though.
Yes, they pulse the little tiny butts like this.
Yeah, I've heard them be called lightning bugs because of that.
That's an innocent little creature.
They're
so innocent. Don't do anything. All they do for the most part is light up your life. Like that's
yes, I like that. Yes.
Yeah, maybe one day. I know that in Iowa they're around, but I guess I've just never been anywhere where.
That's where I've seen them. Yeah, Iowa.
I remember your story, B. Yeah.
Iowa.
We did want to know if you had anything you wanted to add, a message to our viewers, to your viewers.
I do. I've got a free inner light activation meditation for your listeners, which is a 15-minute guided meditation with my beautiful voice.
Love.
Just to ignite your own inner spark, and then you can find that at maruisaldridge.com. Let me just see. It is / and then sacred-gift.
You had said something about darkness cannot exist where there is light.
Yes.
And I had an epiphany at like the age of probably 19. I was pretty depressed. Me and Abigail were actually on the mountain together. And I was so sad. And we were looking out at the forest. And it must have been a full moon night. And I noticed the scattering of light on the ground. I just noticed it all of a sudden. And I started thinking about, it's really just another perspective on life. And even in day and night, even on the darkest night that we have, there's always the stars giving a little bit of light. And on most nights we have the moon. And so you can choose to see the darkness and be in fear of that, or you can choose to focus on the light, no matter how little it is, that does exist. Even if it's just the smallest bit of light, you can choose which one you want to focus on, and what light's what carries you through.
I remember
That's beautiful.
that night.
That's really beautiful.
It's just one of the paradoxes of like life and existence, and like if you look and observe the world around us, we have the answers, and it is all there in your perspective of how you choose to see the world. Yeah.
And we do have all the answers inside us. Rumi used to say, "You are not a drop in the ocean; you are the entire ocean in a drop." Which means, on a soul level, we have got all the love, wisdom, light, understanding inside of us, and that comes directly from the universe. But society, upbringing, parents, trauma tell us to be a version that we are not. So I just want people to remember that they are light itself, and they must never forget that. And then where there is light, there can't be darkness.
I love
Oh, I
that.
That's so.
I hope you know that we are just gonna start saying that all the time now, because that's
Yeah.
what we do. We take.
I'm gonna start quoting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start telling people, as a wise philosopher once said, and I'm just gonna start quoting your book.
Yes.
They're gonna be like, which philosopher said that? Maruis, Aldridge. He
Yes.
said that,
So
and he changed my life.
I have a question for you, Marius. Do
Yeah.
you plan on writing any other books?
That's
do
a
you
good
have
question.
any
Yeah.
what are your future plans? What do you plan on doing?
So, yes, I will do another book. Obviously, I feel strongly that this was channeled through spirit. Whether that will happen again, I don't know. Maybe I should take some more magic mushrooms and see what happens.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. But I do have this idea that I want to make like a 52-week mindfulness journal that can accompany this. And I've I have written some of the stuff already, which is mindfulness exercise and stuff. But the whole mindfulness journal is based on From Broken to Brilliant. That's what I'm working on, and I will at some point release it, because I mean, if you take me, for example, I never knew what mindfulness was until I saw that bloody little post in a car park.
Yes.
I didn't know about meditation. And once I wrapped my head around mindfulness, and I'm thinking, why the hell are they not teaching this fucking stuff at school?
Yes.
I agree.
The world will be such a better place if everybody meditates, if world leaders meditate. I think we will be
Absolutely.
so much more in tune with humanity and kindness and love. So I want to almost go back to basics, because I mean, it's okay to read a book about trauma, but where do you start?
Yeah.
Mindfulness journal will be a nice a complement to From Broken to Brilliant.
That makes me very excited.
I saw this study one time where I'll have to look it up, and I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but they did this study where they had a bunch of people meditate all in one town, and then they studied like the amount of crime that happened while the meditation was occurring, and it was so low compared to what it usually was.
You give me goosebumps. So that is energy. So in the Bible, they refer to that sort of scenarios as the 144,000. Okay, so it only takes 144,000 souls to project love and light from their heart space, and even meditate to alchemize all the negativity that goes on in the whole world.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's how powerful that sort of energy is. Did you guys ever come across the Omega chart?
The Omega chart.
So at the bottom you've got anger, resentment, ego, and then it goes up and it goes acceptance, and then you get to love and it goes higher.
Sure.
So they did research, and they always thought that love was the highest form of energy and vibration, but actually authenticity is. Authenticity beats love by miles, and this is why we are not. There's no other person on this earth that are like you. So, and the way the universe intended it is for us all to be so authentically ourselves and so completely different. And this is what the fucking world doesn't know.
Yes.
Because we are 9 to 5s. We listen to our parents. We listen to the education system. We listen to politicians and stuff.
Yes.
And we forget that no, actually, be crazy, be weird, just be the wonderful you. That's what
Yes.
The most authentic version of yourself.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love that so much. Well, I'm excited. I'm stoked. That makes me very excited, and I'm excited that hopefully we can have you back on the podcast.
Yes.
I'd love
Absolutely.
You have been a tremendous, not only author for us to dive deep into and read. Yeah. But just especially after meeting you and reading your book and everything, and then meeting you in person, it is very touching, and I really appreciate your time and everything that you have done and all of your experience that you are talking about, and it means a lot, and I believe that it is reaching a lot of people, and hopefully this helps to bring more people into your story, because again, I can't say it enough, you are a wonderful human being.
Yeah, truly a beautiful and pure soul.
Yeah.
I mean,
very
genuinely.
happy that you wrote about your experience, and that we now and other people get to dive in to your experiences and your knowledge, because especially after talking with you tonight, like, your knowledge and your mindset and your mental capacity is phenomenal. And
thank you so much.
I really appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I just want people to know that healing is possible, but you've got to choose it. And
Absolutely.
It's not easy. I mean, you laugh the 1 minute and you cry the next, and yes, but it is possible. But you have to come to a place in your life where you have to choose you, because you matter. And if you don't look after you and you don't heal you, you're basically pouring from an empty cup, and then you're actually useless to any and everybody that's in your life. So it's okay to be selfish for the right reasons. It's okay to choose you, and that's okay.
I love that you say that.
Beautiful.
I love so much that you say that, because for one, it's about you, and for two, it's about a choice.
Yeah.
And that is what I say a lot. Is it's a choice. Whatever you do in your life is a choice, as well as healing and accepting and figuring out your trauma is a choice. And I love that you say that.
And another way to realize about healing, and that you are healing and you guys are also doing it, is you become in service of others. So you're basically taking whatever shit you've been through, the trauma, whatever bad experience, and you basically alchemizing it, and then you became like a roadmap to other people that are still stuck in the mud and in the dark.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how the universe intended it to be, because we are here to serve each other. And I always say to people, I mean, I was Christian, I'm not religion. That's why God made Adam and Eve, because two people, so they can look after each other. And that's also why you've got the duality of masculine and femininity. And it's exactly how the balance of yin and yang should be. Just embrace it and go for it.
Yes.
Well said.
Oh my God, give me goosebumps.
I would love to buy a physical signed copy from you, if that's possible.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Actually, I would too. I would love.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Okay, that's lovely. I've got this thing that I stamp also in my book for people that ask. I'm not going to tell you what it is until I send it.
Okay.
You will see when you open it. I love doing it. Here's my little message stamp that I send out to the world.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Before we wrap, we want to leave you with this. Healing isn't just something you understand, it's something you feel. If today's conversation stirred something in your body, a laugh, a nod, a deep breath you didn't know you were holding, that counts. That's information. Marius reminds us we were never broken, just carrying our stories in order to survive. Thank you so much, Marius, for trusting us, and thank you for listening. We appreciate you being here. If this episode resonated with any of you, share it with someone whose nervous system might need it, and we'll see you next time on Traumatic Comedy, where healing and humor get to exist in the same room.
Yes.
Yes. Brilliant. Well, thank you for having me. Yes, it was lovely.
Thank you so much for staying up late with us.
Yeah,
Really
seriously.
appreciate it.
That's perfect. And enjoy your Friday evening. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.